Well, you certainly don't want to learn how to automate a workflow. Those are far ends of the spectrum, right? And so I would go automate the workflow for them, customize brand, the customer relationship management end of it for them with only what they need because they don't want to hang out there and build things. They just want it one and done, running, where they can check in and then they can go shine and be the voice and face of their business.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to my show. My name is Tiffany Alexander, and this is Unveiling Journeys. Man, I'm happy to have you here today. Can I just tell you a moment about me? I love people. I love people so much. I love their story. I love who they are, and I love getting to know them. And by all means, at the end of conversations that I have with phenomenal people, I'm like, oh, can I get to know more people like you? And by the way, I feel like I have several people you need to know, and I want you to get with them. And that's how I've grown just the abundance of humans that I surround myself with. But on top of that, oh my gosh, I've met some of the most incredible people that I can no longer contain. I absolutely adore them. I love their story. And that's why this show was born. I need to tell people about some of the cool people I've met and what they do and who they are. And I get to share their story. And so with that, oh, I have an amazing guest for you. My friend Coleen and I are going to have a blast on this show today. So with that, welcome, Coleen. Tell everybody a little bit about who you are and what you're up to right now.
Yeah, Tiff, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And I totally agree. Sometimes you meet people and it's just so good. You want to tell everybody, but let's be real. It's not going to call everybody and tell them we're just going to hop on a podcast because that's the easy way to do it. So, you know that I'm the founder of Simplified CEO Systems. And at this point in my life, I'm helping midlife entrepreneurs avoid overwhelm while they're building their business. I do that by providing a fully customized and branded customer relationship system. And when I do that, that makes it so that they can build a business that they're madly passionate about and without overwhelm, without burnout. And that's not something you hear all the time because most people want to say, oh, yeah, I love my business. I don't want you to love your business. I want you to be madly passionate about it. I want you to be on fire about your business. And so here's the ugly truth. Disorganization behind the scenes in your business leads to drop balls, leads to missed opportunities, and it leads to chaotic customer experience, even if you look polished on the outside, right? But the beautiful truth that comes from that is that with customized systems supporting you in the background, like a superhero, business owners can finally step into the spotlight without stress and without second guessing. It really gives them the freedom to just show up and shine. And I believe every entrepreneur needs that.
Oh my gosh, you are speaking to my heart because when I met some really cool people just even a few short years ago, they said, yeah, what CRM do you use? I'm like, excuse me? Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? I'm like, they're in my cell phone or they're in a Facebook or they're in something, right? And they're like, you aren't tracking any of these people? What have I just exposed myself to knowing and not knowing? And then since it's been this journey of finding one, going through multiple, and then by golly, they don't come cookie cutter or they only come cookie cutter and you need them to be customized to what it is your customer journey needs to be in and all of the above. And so when I heard the way that you treat every single client of yours through this journey of taking out all the stuff that they don't need and making it exactly so they can peak perform. I love that so much. This is what is needed, not just like go sign up for some dumb CRM, call it what it is, but having a, a guide through all of this and just been there, done that to make your life so much easier so you can shine in your business. That's why I love what you're doing. And I'm like, please come tell people about these CRMs things.
Yeah,
Um,
thank you. I feel like too, customer service is just such a huge part of it. And so many times when you get in the CRM world, it's like, hey, I've got this template for you. Here, go do this, or this CRM, just jump in and do it. And yet, we need more than that. Most people I know that are building businesses did not jump in. And maybe it's a generational thing, but they didn't jump in saying, oh, I want to go learn all the tech. No, they said, I have this great idea, this great concept, this great solution to people's problems, and I really want to share that. They never thought once about how to do that, how to keep connected, those kinds of things. That's not what crossed their mind first. And they certainly didn't think, oh, I want to go learn to build a workflow. I want to go learn to automate. I want to go learn to create lead magnets. That's not what they were thinking.
Not at all. Most of them, I'm gonna say, because I mean, I have great ideas to get in front of my people and do whatever we do best, not to invent the systems to keep the structure going behind. Especially when you start as a solopreneur, maybe you have a business partner, maybe start to hire people. It gets hairy quick, and so like to be able to either pick up the pieces where you've already been so far deep into this, or just starting from the right way. You are the lady. You are the person that can go and help everybody out where they're at right now.
I
Um,
love that. And you know what? I've built so many businesses and I've been in that position where I didn't think all these things through. Or even more importantly, like I couldn't afford an employee, right? And so I
yeah,
did it all. I did
yeah,
it all. And when your CRM is customized and branded and really just tweaked to fit you and what you need, it actually works as a silent teammate, right? Like it runs
yeah.
beside you and catches all the things you drop. It builds all your connections. They don't drop through the holes. The relationships are being built. All the things are happening in the background because they're automated. And that is huge. It's not like when you hire your first employee, that's scary because what if you don't get along? What if you need to break up? What if you need to fire them? What if they don't do it your way, you know? But when it's an automated employee like this, then it just makes so much more sense.
I like how you've said this because if you really treat your CRM like an employee, you're far underpaying your CRM, considering they work 24/7 at a moment's notice and they're keeping all this data appropriate for you to allow you to run your business way better. That justifies the cost, like immediately.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I'm going to add on that when you said 24/7, I immediately went to this thought, and that is that as a midlife woman, I'm sometimes up in the night working. I don't know if you've experienced this, but either I'm woken up with thoughts or I can't sleep. And so I'm up working, right? And have you ever tried to reach out and get help in the middle of the night? That's pretty
Uh,
difficult, right?
yeah, talking to a
Like you can
chatbot.
Google and it can cost a lot of money. But one of the things that I offer my clients is I have a chat bot that's a chat bot. Let me preface this by saying I hate chatbots, right? They're just regurgitating what I could find myself. And so the chat bot that I offer my clients, I give everybody and I pay top dollar for it, has a human attached to it
Oh,
24/7. And
really?
I have used mine so often. This should probably be embarrassing, but it's not because when it comes to building businesses, I'm in it to win it, right? So I know when my favorite human is available, right?
Yes.
Like I know what hours this human answers. I have one that's really my favorite. He's on between 4 a.m. and 9 a.m. And that's a lot of the times when I'm doing work, but I can just type in their human and he pops up. And not only does he pop up, but when he's just getting to know me, he's like, okay, hey, Colleen, how can I help you the best? Is it better for you if I just do this? Do you want me to just solve the problem for you? Or is it better for you if I create a loom and you can watch the loom and do it, and then I can check and see if you did it right? Or do you want to do it together? You know, and I'm like, oh no, create a loom because I have to know how to do all things. I don't have to do all things, but I have to know how. And then I save my loom. But the fact that I can get him 24/7 at no cost. Um, the other day when there was the crash, the AWS crash, whatever that was, it took me 4 minutes to get a human. 4 minutes. That's the longest I've ever waited.
Well, I love that.
4 minutes. And so that whole 24/7 thing, like it's it's concierge coaching on a whole new level, right? To have somebody that can answer this. And the biggest reason that became so important to me was I had to have something done by 8 a.m. once. And this was a couple of years ago when I first started online. I had no idea how to do it. Finally, at 5, I hired a girl I didn't know, paid her $500 to have it done at 8 a.m. And it was the best $500 I spent that entire year, I think, you know? But
Yeah.
thank God I found her because otherwise I'd have been stuck. And so this to me is a really important part of what I do. Uh, Customer service end of it, you know, we're about building relationships. And I want your CRM to work for you to build relationships. And I also work to build a relationship with my clients and make sure that they know they can call me. And you know what? I don't know everything. I don't have all the answers, but I certainly know how to get them.
Mm, mm.
I will
Yeah.
work to get
Oh
them
my
and
gosh, are
provide
you
them.
over here quoting Henry Ford? I have a row of electric push buttons desk so I can push a button. I know the guy that knows, right? I don't need to know. Why should I clutter up my brain?
That's
That's the
right, that's
best.
right.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
I love all of this so much. Let's do this. So I want to unveil, I want to crack into your journey. Let's start from the beginning. Like, where are you from? And then what did you want to be when you grew up? Or like, what did you go to school for? Let's start there.
You know what? I probably don't look like it, but I was a nerd. Kind of like I was president of the business club, right? President of the English club in high school. I'm from Florida. I was adopted at a really young age, but into an entrepreneurial family. So my grandparents both owned businesses. My parents owned businesses. It's just what I knew. Now my parents both had regular jobs also, but they ran, like my dad ran a deep sea fishing boat also that he owned, and took tourists out on it. So we really worked. They also ran real estate, had tons of monthly rentals. My grandparents owned a trailer court on Fort Myers Beach in Florida, huge, and it was really service focused. Like my dad's job as a child was to go get people's groceries that lived in the trailer court, go do their
Wow.
grocery shopping. This was
Yeah.
before Spark. Like he
Yeah.
was riding a pedal bike, you know, doing this in the 1950s. And so really entrepreneurial family. So obviously, I took that. Anytime I saw a problem, I created a business. Um, 10 years ago, I was 28 years, 27 years into business building. I'd built 6 successful brick and mortar businesses, all from seeing problems. One, for instance, my daughter was 4 and had to play bells in Bells and Choir for homeschool, and she needed a black skirt. Well, I went to JCPenney's and all they had was black leather skirts for a 4-year-old. And I was
Wow.
like,
Yeah.
all I could see was pregnancy rates, whatever. And so I took her home and laid her out on a poster board and drew a pattern on it of her little body and went and bought some material and cut it out and sewed it. I'd never sewn anything in my life. And I
Yeah.
thought, you know what? These kids deserve to have fun clothes that they love. And so I went down to the garment district in Miami and hired some people that didn't speak English and bought some commercial machines and started a company called Character Kids. And I made little kids clothing that was adorable. They had worms and caterpillars on these dresses with big, huge pockets for all their treasures, just things like that, you know. And I shipped them across the United States to Quilted Bear stores. And that was just one business. But I've loved doing that. Now, the last business I had that the one that made the biggest difference. So business number
Wait, you're
6.
going so fast. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. We have so
Okay.
much time to crack into this. I love this so much. And by the way, when do I get my dress sewn with a bunch of pockets in it? Because I'm an adult and I still want that.
You know, right. You know, the fun part is my granddaughter wears these now. Like my daughter saved all hers and my little granddaughter wears them and they're so cute. I see them. I'm like, I love them. And I did like lace sleeves on them.
Yeah.
It was just really a big, but every time I see a problem, I create a solution. That's
Yeah.
key.
Yeah.
Building a business, right? So
Yeah.
business number 6, was a scrapbook store. I loved it, poured my heart and soul in it, and I would build these businesses up, like, do all the work myself, did everything myself. We didn't do debt, we don't believe in debt, and so we'd work hard, save the money, build this business up, be profitable, good business, everybody was envious of the business, and then it was like, I am so burned out, I can't see
Mm,
straight,
mm,
and something would happen, and I would be like, "I'm just out. It's making good money, everybody loves it, somebody else wants it, go ahead and sell it."
yeah.
Sell it for a profit, right? Take a break, 2 months, 2 years, whatever, enjoy the kids, all those things. In that process, it's like, I thought I was providing the best life for my kids. And for me, part of it being adopted, and then I was one of 4 adopted children. All of us were needy kids. I was an infant, but I had to be adopted with my sister who was 2 years older than me, so it was a hard adoption to facilitate. But I just family was where it was at. I wanted to be with my family, and that's probably a real foundation in my business because I homeschooled my kids while I was building businesses. I actually had a pallet under my cash register that we built in every business. So my little one could sleep right there at my feet, and be right there where they could touch me, right? I didn't want them being gone. Now they got a little bit bigger and wanted to go to school for 1 year or 2 years, and I would let them go enroll in public school, but inevitably they wanted to come home and be with their siblings all day, that kind of thing. But business number 6, and I remember this so vividly, you know, standing in the parking lot and watching the clock. It was like 5:56. I had to leave at 6 when I closed my store to go meet my daughter. She was 13, and she wanted me to give her a ride to the ball game. And this I think she had a boy she wanted to talk to me about. And I was so excited to do that because, she didn't wanna talk to me about anything at 13, right? But she had called and asked if I could do that, and I was like, "Yeah, let's do that. It'd be so much fun. Like, we'll stop and get snacks and jam to the music and really just connect." 5:56 and a car rolled into my business. Clients.
Oh,
Yeah. And that was so hard because I was like, I love my business. I've poured everything into this. I've moved at multiple locations. This is what I do. The people get out and they're so happy and excited to be there. And I'm having anxiety and panicking and 6:03 and my daughter calls. And she's like, "Mom,
yeah.
are you almost here? Are you coming to get me?" And I just was heartbroken. And I'm like, "Honey, just hop the bus and I'll see you at the game?" And it was just so quiet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to hear.
So hard, and she says, "Oh," and I was like and it just cut, right? Because the entire reason that I did my own business was so I could be with my kids. I didn't have to send them off somewhere, so I didn't have to miss anything. They never spent any time in daycare. They just were always able to be with me, and yet here we are in the most formative years, and she was so disappointed. And honestly, Tiff, I was so disappointed in myself, right? Like, who had I become?
Right.
Where had my standards gone? What happened? At what point did my love of being successful and my love of my business take precedence over the things I could never get back? And that was just the beginning. That was the turning point where I just decided, you know what? I can rewrite the rules. It's my
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
It's my business. It's absolutely my business. And I need to rewrite the rules, but I didn't know how, right? Like I was so scrambled.
Yeah.
I was heartbroken, I was scrambled, and I'm extreme, I just was like, "I'm done." I listed the business for sale the next morning.
No way.
I did.
That's extreme, but at the same time, I love that you've held true to your values of your priorities in the order where they were at, and that obviously your children were higher than your businesses because
Yeah,
businesses come and go, right? Money comes and goes, but like our kids, our family, and higher up, like our faith, just that we're always going to have.
yeah, and the thing is too is that I understand there are people that build businesses because they have to make money, and that hadn't been the case I mean, I don't do it for free, clearly, but I didn't need to do it. I coulda stayed home, my husband was a good provider, but I needed something to do, I needed, something that was just mine, right? Something that could be my baby besides my babies, something I loved, and then also there's the benefit of being able to be creative and being able to purchase supplies or products at cost. I mean, there were just so many benefits to it. Teaching my kids could run my business. So I loved what I did, but just that realization that that was just one instance that I was missing out on, one time when my daughter wanted to connect and I wasn't available. And for me, I was like, I've got to find a better way. There's got to be a better way. I got to work harder. I got to work smarter, but I have to study and learn. Now, as far as being educated, I had gone to college just for 1 year for business law, loved it. But then got married, started having kids, didn't go back for that. I'd taken many courses over the years, college courses, just different things that were interesting to me when my son turned 11. And I realized that maybe his brain didn't function the same way mine did. I took a college course on brain development.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that was so fun, but it really helped me to understand things in life, and so I like education. I knew that there was a way, I just had to study it out and find it, right? And so I decided that if I didn't have to do it, there's some things you have to do in business. Some you really do. Your face is super important in your business. Building those connections, super important, but something's not so important. I remember my mom telling me one time, when my kids were little, so I have 2 kids that are 10 months apart, and that wasn't intentional, but my mom came over one afternoon, she says, "Gosh, you look like you're just not happy. What's not working? And I said, "What's not working? Nothing's working. None of it. My entire life isn't working." Like, and she's like, "You got to be, give me more than that, right?" I'm like, "Okay, look, I've been doing the same laundry for 3 days. I just need the laundry done and put away. But by the time I get that done, somebody's got to knock it over or rip it out, or I can't get that done. Husband's coming home soon. I need dinner. I haven't even got stuff out, thought out. I'm just not getting it done." And my mom says, "It's because you're doing it wrong." And I was like, "Oh, and tell me about this because you never had kids."
Yeah. Mom, what do you
Here
mean?
I
You don't
am
know
with
everything.
here
It's
I
still
am with
happening.
a 2-month-old and a 12-month-old, and my mom's telling me I'm doing it wrong. I'm like, "Oh, I'd love to hear this," because I was the youngest she adopted, and I was almost 2. I'm like, "So tell me how this works." And she said, "It's like meatloaf." She says, "Here's the thing. You invite somebody over for dinner and they come over, and the aroma of the meal as you're coming up the path, I mean, it just smells amazing. You can't wait to get in there. You know the person who made this has been slaving away all day. This is a secret family recipe." And you go in and you're just like, you don't even want to say hi. You just want to go eat because it's so good. Because you can't wait to get there. All of your senses are touched by this. You're diving in, but then you look at your hostess and you realize that she's calm, cool, collected, put together. And you're like, "Have you really been slaving all day?" And she's like, "Oh no, I've been at the park." And you're like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, I had somebody come in and make dinner." And then it clicks that nobody cares who made the meatloaf. They just want invited to dinner. Your job is to make it feel good, look good, do the parts that need your touch, and let the rest go to somebody else. And so it's the same with raising your kids. It's the same with building a business. And why I didn't realize that earlier in my business building journey, superhero. I've got that entrepreneur problem where I have to do it all myself if I want it done well, right?
Not pointing any fingers, not pointing any fingers, right? Oh my gosh, 100%. These are like tremendous milestones that you've conquered, you've hit, and that's led you like to the next, to the next, next. And this feels like one of the most important ones that
It was
you've
so important
realized.
because I really dove in and studied, and it about broke me. The studying part was not like I was like, "Okay, I'm going to change the rules. I'm going to rewrite the rules. I'm going to do it different." That was the easiest part of it, was making that decision, because then I had to learn things.
Yeah.
And I had to try them, and I had to let them break, and I had to repiece them together, and I had to figure out how exactly the best way was to automate, delegate, still have the personal connection with all of my clients, still build that, and yet have trusted entities on the other end
Huh.
that were doing these other things. And it
Yeah.
started out with a clover pointed, well, okay, I'm gonna fast forward a couple of years. We moved to, Missouri, and I was standing in a building. We bought an old, barber shop, and I was gonna put a high-end boutique in it. Well, it still had black and white checkered flooring. It was ancient. So we had, some carpenters in there building cabinets, welders in there welding racks for us, somebody else redoing the walls, things like that, and I was literally standing there drinking my Coke, and it was like, boom, if you can have all this happening so you don't have to do it, there's other things in your business you can do this with. Just have to figure it out. And I was so proud of myself. Tip, I'll never forget this. I left and went down the street from around the corner to the city hall to get my business license. And the mayor was not pleased. Not pleased because I moved to the poorest county in Missouri, paid $250,000 to get my building, start my business, all these things, which was unheard of. And he's like, "You're going to have to do this, 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 this before we let you have a business in our town." And I walked out of there and I crumpled the paper and stuffed it in my pocket. And I could just feel the same anxiety creeping in that I felt like when I was failing my daughter.
Yeah.
I was like, "It's coming back. I don't want this. I got to do something different." I can do this. I know I can. You talk yourself through this as an entrepreneur. This isn't the end. I can figure it out. And as I walked back to my building, the building next to mine had these letters CPA. And I'm like, "Oh, I wonder what all they can do." Hmm. And I walked in there. I said, "Hi," and the lady says, "Can I help you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm pulling out my list and flattening it out, getting the tears off it, right? I'm like, I need all these things done. And she took my list and she's like, "Okay, yeah, we can do those." I was like, "Really? All of them?" Because there
What?
were things like, you had to get your LLC, you had to do and I'm like, "Really? You can do all these?" And she's like, "Yeah, no problem." I'm like,
Wow.
"Well, what else can you do?" She's like, "Well,
That's a great question to ask someone.
we can do bookkeeping, we can run your bank, we can pay your payroll, we can do your inventory end, we can do" and I was like, "Oh, well, let's talk about being best friends because
100%, right?
I
Oh my
need
goodness.
this so much." And then I was like, because I'm such a cheapskate, I'm like, "If you combine some of these services, if I have you do all of this, what's it gonna cost? Like, do I get a discount?" You know? And clearly you do because they're doing so much for you. So I was like, "Yes." And then I, went back over to the building, that was going to be my boutique, and I felt a little more like, "Okay, I am back. I can do this. They can help with that." Huge relief. Like, please, I don't even wanna think about it, and I don't want to have that interaction with this person, with the mayor. I just don't wanna talk to him again. Let them deal with that, right? And it didn't matter if I did it or they did it. These were legalities that needed done, right? They were technical things, so let them do that. Um, and I opened my cash register, like, unboxed the whole system. I bought top of the line system. It was a Clover point of sale system, and what that gave me the power to do was to email my clients, to keep track of their purchases, to, text them specials and coupons, and I could put their birthdays in and send these things to them and be like, "Oh, hey, here's a birthday coupon," right? And so I am old school. I've been in business a long time, so this was just coming out. And I know tech is so much more advanced now, but that was the beginning that said there's an easier way, right?
Yeah.
I love
These are all
that
the little
business.
tiny pieces that just sort of fell into place to let you understand that you care so much about that
I
happening
do.
for you and subsequent you, and then subsequently all of the people that you know that you could do this for too in a chunk of their business. But that's also how we met in a networking group where we have a camaraderie of other people that's like, if you need a guy, I got a guy next door. I got a guy a phone call away. I got a guy a continent
Yes,
away, right? Like we have solutions to systems to be able to let you be at your best and shine with what it is you want to do. Because if you don't love it, it's going to burn you out sooner than later, or something's going to break you in it. And I love that you used all these little stories
that's
to
so
come to
true.
where you're at right now. Can I ask you, 'cause this is phenomenal that you went from this to this to this, and you don't have to work still. Like, this like, why do you keep caring so much and you've determined to not quit and not give up, and now you have another business to really just fulfill something that someone really, really needs when you don't have to do any of this?
Right. So I had that boutique for 7 years. I also opened by automating a lot of things, hiring employees, things like that. I was able to open another business, which was 4 boutique Airbnbs. Super fun businesses. Love them with my whole heart. And, my mom came to stay with us one summer, which she did every summer, and she fell and broke her hip. And when she did that, it brought on her Parkinson's, and which also brought on her Parkinson's-induced dementia, and she got a medical diagnosis that said that she would need homebound 24/7 care for 10 to 15 years. And so,
Wow.
it's at the crossroads again, what? She doesn't have anybody else to care for her, and so, she did have a husband, but he didn't wanna step up. So, I sold the businesses, family first, always, and I loved them, and I cried when I sold them, but I told myself that that wasn't gonna be the end, because I had learned so much. I'd grown so much and learned so much, but that wasn't gonna be the end of my story, and I didn't know when it would change or I'd have an opportunity to do something different, but, she passed away about 5 months later.
Wow,
It
yeah.
really was I coulda kicked myself. I mean, so many people were like, "Oh, don't you wish you'd kept that?" You know? And
No.
I could've maybe managed it, but no. I think God plays a role for a reason, things happen for reasons, and no, but one thing I realized that in sitting here, I got up a couple mornings in a row, I was like, "You know what?" I said to my husband, "You know what? Doesn't actually matter if I get up in the morning." And that's a scary thing. And when you have family at home, you have kids at home, you don't understand that because what you want to be is not needed. But when the table flips and you're not needed and you don't have a purpose, there are
Yeah.
2 of us in a 6,000 square foot home. It doesn't matter if I clean it. I can clean it once and it's done for a month.
Yeah.
right? Besides dishes or something, we don't make that big a mess. My kids are busy with their life. I do want time to see my grandkids, but I'm at a point where I want my grandkids to be able to see me whenever's good for them, not necessarily when's good for me, because they're building their families. They have routines and things like that. And I want to be able to fit in the cracks and crevices, not be like they have to go out of their way for me.
Yeah.
Um, but looking back over the years and trying to decide, did I want to build another brick and mortar business or what did I really want to do? And what I wanted to do was make it so that women could share their dreams and build their businesses without the burnout and the overwhelm. I want other women to be able to do what I did. And so I know the steps. And so when I decided to come online and coach women to build businesses, and it came to the CRM part, and I was like, these women don't want to learn these tech things, but I know how to do that. And so I started putting that together for them. And so let's say that you want to teach chair yoga. Well, you certainly don't want to learn how to automate a workflow. Those are far ends of the spectrum, right? And so I would go automate the workflow for them, customize brand, the customer relationship management end of it for them with only what they need because they don't want to hang out there and build things. They just want it one and done, running, where they can check in and then they can go shine and be the voice and face of their business. And so that's what I did. But as I built out the CRM business, I really realized that so many men need the service too. And so it's midlife entrepreneurs that I'm helping. And just taking what's overwhelming to them is not overwhelming to me, it's fun to me. And so I simplify that with a mission of allowing them to have freedom to be authentic, to not show up angry, to not show up overwhelmed and anxious, to be able to sleep well at night and really not miss the moments in their life, right?
I love that,
That's it.
that you're able to provide all that for everyone. Oh my goodness. All right, I have 2 questions left. What's on the horizon? What's next? Oh, wait. On top of this, where do you want people to come find you first? Let's do that one
Oh,
first. I
yeah,
have 3
where to find
questions.
me? Yeah, find me on my website, simplifiedceosystems.com. And then, of course, LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm highly present on LinkedIn and Facebook. My name, Coleen Stubbs, as it appears on screen. And what's on the horizon? Are you ready?
Yes.
Came online to teach women, to coach women to build businesses. I quickly saw that they were missing the CRM, integrated that. I've really been focusing down on the CRM. Come January, we're combining it, building it all out. I will coach you to build your business. You just come to me with the idea and I will show you how to monetize it. I will help you with creating a mission plan, a business statement, all of it. We'll get it all lined out, a plan going forward, your lead magnets, any digital products you need to create, and we'll integrate it all with your CRM so it's a done for you system.
I
That's
love
where
this
we're
so
going in
much.
January.
You know why I love this so much? Because what a time to be alive. My girls are 5 and 7, and I've thought to myself, "Well, they wanna do this, they wanna do that." Like, they could now own a business. Not that I wanna put that on their shoulders, but to know someone like you and they're like, "I just wanna draw pictures, and then we could monetize that." Like, they could, if I knew
That's
the right
crazy,
person that had all the right pieces, right? And to be able to plug into a phenomenal human that's been there, done that, why do I have to go reinvent the wheel when we could just plug them into a system, right?
right?
Oh my goodness, this is
I love this.
so
Yes, and
cool.
I
I
actually
cannot
helped
wait
a
to hear
lady.
more about this.
Yeah, I
So,
helped a lady last week creating coloring books of all the
of all the things I right? Oh, okay, okay, good. So let's do this. This is gonna be our wrap-up question for the tail end of the
okay,
show.
I'm ready.
What do you wanna leave everybody with? What are your nuggets of wisdom?
Well, the first one I would say is get out of your way. Quit having the mindset that you have to do it all. Because the truth of the matter is you don't. You have to take your brilliance and put it on the things that need your personal stamp, need your personal touch. Those are the ones you need to do. The rest needs automated and delegated. My most successful businesses were automated, delegated, and hired out. The things that didn't need my personal touch. And it is absolutely possible to build a business you're madly passionate about. I don't want you to love your business. I want you to wake up on fire. I want you to dream about the next thing you can do with your business. That's what I want for you.
Mm, so well said. I am so appreciative for your time. Thank you for coming to hang out with us and tell everybody your story and your heart and all the amazing things that you're working on and currently doing and how you can change somebody who's listening right now in their business. So Guys, if you are listening to this episode, share it, replay it, reach out to Colleen on her website, or if you can't find her, find me on LinkedIn. I will get you connected with her. And thank you again for your time. I
Thank you, Tiff.
just absolutely adore you, and I can't wait to hang out again. And then I will see you guys all hanging out still to this point on the next episode. Take care. Bye.
Bye.